Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. Respect to Argentina. They punched and kept on punching. That is a really good text, a really good summation. This one I love as well. DSPN is one of the main reasons why this All Black team is so pathetic.
Oh, I thought we were about to get praise today. I was ready to fist pump.
You always talk up the most rubbish players. This young guy, he hates the Springboks. Sir, you're 11 years old. What do you know?
Welcome to the DSPN.
He's given him. Oh, there you go. He was forward.
Oh, a punch up now in midfield. Fraser's involved.
The Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast, people. Martin Devlin, Lachlan Waugh. On the show today, DSPN. We've got Big League Tuesday, Tony Kemp. Looking back at the last round of the NRL, Warriors poised top four. One more win and get to clinch. Murray Mexted said last week that the selectors had got it exactly right for the team to play Argentina. Buenos Aires, he reckons that the back line was looking good as well. Well, what happened? Just turned in an absolute turd of a performance. Can't wait to speak to Mex. And we'll tackle Mailbag. If you have been leaving us comments, engaging with us on the DSPN YouTube channel or across our social channels, thank you so much. We did a live stream broadcast after the test on Sunday. I just got hundreds and hundreds of comments, so we'll go through some of those. Thank you very much for all of that and supporting us. Well over 3 million views now on the YouTube channel. 1 million views in the last 28 days alone. So we are very grateful indeed. If you keep hitting that subscribe button, thank you very much. It does help. We're over 12,500 subscribers. Want to get to 15,000 on the YouTube channel as quick as possible. And also click join. And that means that you can become part of the DSPN yourself. A little monetary charge, yes, but we're going to provide a whole lot of content which is just for you. So thank you again. Looking forward to doing all of this today. We're here every single day, putting out stuff every afternoon. And as I always said, we appreciate every time that you do join us. If you know anyone that would like to listen to this or watch this, we'll let them know as well. Sermon on the All Blacks. We're still talking about it. We're probably going to be talking about this, in fact, all the way through to the week after next when we play the first of two tests against the Boks at Eden Park.
Marty Sermons, brought to you by WebWonks. Generate online leads with WebWonks. Doctors for your Google data.
We live in an amazing, amazing world, and it's wasted on the crappiest generation of just spoiled idiots.
Are our players just not good enough, or is it a coaching problem? I'm talking about the All Blacks. So much angst over our national team right now, and rightly so. That loss to Argentina Sunday morning stings. It still does. Fans are hurting, embarrassed by the ineptitude on display, worried about how out-muscled we were, confused as to how this backline of ours remains as toothless as it is, and now starting to doubt as to whether or not this coaching group have the ability to give the players the tools, the game plan, the confidence they need to be able to perform at their best. We are a muddling side right now. In 5 tests this year, we have yet to produce one cohesive, complete performance, and I'm not talking about the perfect performance because we all look for that. It's never going to happen. Well, maybe it did 43-6 at Athletic Park in 1996, the odd one. Look, I'm just wanting an 80-minute effort where we look like a team. 40 minutes, second test versus France. 20 minutes, third test versus France. 2 spells of about 10 to 15 minutes, first test versus Argentina. That's it for this year. That's all we can look at so far and say, gee, the All Blacks look good at those times. The rest is all work-ons. Test footy is tough, the coach keeps telling us. 1 or 2 passes, back shoulder didn't stick. We tend to hear the same explanations/excuses after every game. It's starting to be a bit too much of the same. Last year we played 14 tests. Victory over Ireland and Dublin was impressive. We played mostly well in Paris, but we still lost that game to France. We beat Argentina convincingly at Eden Park. That first half was magnificent after being upset by them the week before. Second test versus Aussie was a comprehensive win. And that's it. That's about all we can cling to. That's 19 test matches so far under the new regime. And I can barely name 5 where we can honestly say we played well. I think most of us agree most of our players are worthy selections, especially the forwards. We just picked the biggest, strongest pack we could, and we got moosed. We have a backline, though, which is just unco. Game after game, erratic at best. And they're not bad players. 1 or 2 moments of individual brilliance, but zero fluidity. We aren't improving. The players' as combinations aren't improving. We got wingers lacking in the most basic skills of catching bombs. And look, this isn't a moan or a whinge. It's not meant to be that. I've said it since full time on Sunday morning. We did not deserve to win. Congratulations to you, Argentina. What I'm trying to say here is I'm concerned. In fact, I'm very concerned. We are just not convincing. And after 19 tests under a new coach, We should be. There should be visible, tangible, enjoyable signs of improvement, direction, cohesiveness. I think most of us are on the same page, aren't we? We want our team to win and we want our team to play well. So how much longer does it take? When does the patience run out? If this was Ian Foster in charge, you know that he'd be copping it like a chook. We win both tests versus South Africa, and of course all this talk will be forgotten. So for the coaching group, the next 2 weeks could not be any more important. It's mailbag time, Lachlan. Thank you so much, everyone, for all the feedback. We call it engagement. That's the new buzzword in this industry. It's when you leave comments. Plenty of them.
Engagement.
All over the DSPN YouTube channel, all over our social channels too. That's the Instaface and the Bookgram. You leave a comment wherever it is that you want it to. We try and get to as many as possible. We try and respond to as many as possible as well. Again, I just ask that, look, rather than make it personal, if it's going to be personal, it's going to be insulting. There's going to be somebody here in this company that looks at that and they just delete it or they do all of that kind of stuff. So, we don't mind getting a bit of a razz on, all of that kind of thing, but we're all adults here, and all we're just doing is just talking about sport.
Yeah.
And
insult me if you really want to. Insult me. I don't care.
Well, there is going to be a couple of those.
Bag.
There is a couple of those coming at the end of this. Look, let's just start. I want Matt Moores is going to open it up here, and I think this was off one of the socials. All Blacks are going to lose both games to Aussie in the Box at Eden Park. $1,000 on it at the TAB. I don't know whether that means he wants to put 1,000, Matt, or he has put 1,000. It's a big brave bet, mate, betting against the All Blacks twice at Eden Park. Twice at Eden Park. I think you're going to lose that bet. I can't see us losing.
Well,
both
yeah,
those
I
games.
hope you can still cash out at the same amount there, Matt. If so, do it.
Joe Sharp, anyone going to start apologising to Foster for his treatment now? A lot of talk this week about the coaches, about are they improving? 19 tests in, and that's the 19th test against Argentina on the weekend. These coaches have had a fairly good run now. They've had about 18 months in the job or so, and that's the 19th performance put up. Are we improving?
May I also say...
No, we're not improving, judging on that. So
I can't quite remember the timeline of the assistants, but we know that Razor knew he had the job in mid-2023.
There you are.
So he's had 2 years now of knowing at least that he is the All Black coach.
Look, it all comes down to these two tests against South Africa. Because if we win these two tests and we play well, then
it's fine.
Yeah, none of what we feel, the angst and the frustration this week is going to be valid or relevant.
It's important to note as well.
But I just think that, especially the back coaches, as Watani Mohi says here, the back coach needs coaching. Yeah, we're malfunctioning as far as our back line goes.
Yeah, and it's not, for lack of a better word, embarrassment of losing to Argentina.
Congratulations to them.
A massive round of applause. But they've also really progressed as a rugby nation over the last 10, 12,
I'm delighted
13
for them.
years.
I've got nothing all but praise for Argentina.
Yeah, you got to isolate the way the All Blacks looked, and the back line in particular just really, really disappointing.
You imagine if the All Whites played Argentina and got a win. You imagine the reaction back in their place if that was the case. Their world champion football side lost to ours, our round ball side.
Yeah, I think it's...
Okay, so perhaps that puts a bit more perspective on how we're feeling at the moment, because we think we should win against them.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, when you talk about South American countries, the likes of Brazil and Argentina, and some European ones, but very much the South American ones, their football teams and really football as a whole is it's almost religious.
It is, yeah.
More so than rugby is to New Zealand. We do love our rugby, of course, though. So, yeah.
Stephen Clark, 6263, problems and all of these speak of poor coaching. This off YouTube, ill-discipline, lack of leadership, dreadful aerial work, the game plan, not good enough. Really good message here, really good text, well thought out. Agree with all of that. Bring that level of game to Murrayfield, says Grant McPherson, in November, and we'll get our first ever win against the All Blacks. What? The jocks are eyeing us up. We've never lost to you, bloke.
Well, how that right there tells you the position that New Zealand rugby has more or less fallen into.
Well, that Scotland
are looking at us and thinking they could win.
No.
And they probably could. If that All Black team on Sunday turned up and played Scotland in New Zealand or at Murrayfield.
They'd like that.
Yeah. Ooh.
I love this one. Count Octo Truth Seeker. Not too much laughing this week, hey knobs. Laughy face, laughy face. You lot were giggling like little girls last week. Karma's such a bitch. Well, I'm going to be laughing loud if we give you a slap at Eden Park, but right now I'll take that one. I'll cop that one because we were giving it to you hard after Australia did.
Yeah,
we
were more giving it to the fans, though, than we were to the Springboks themselves. I think we like the Springboks. We like Rassie. I think it's just the fans are a bit
But
of a
when
punish.
you lose, we love it. I mean, that's it. It's same as when we lose, you love it. That's it. Yeah, I think the knob word's pretty appropriate.
Yeah, it's
actually.
quite funny.
I'll take
Knobs,
that.
yeah.
Warren Manuel, 7ZH, 6 something or other at the end of it. But Wazza, this is a great text. He's used so many capital letters, so many exclamation marks, so many underscores, so many symbols. Mate,
Are there a few colons in there as well?
the whole thing, he's used every single key on
commas,
the keyboard.
apostrophes.
That's why I put this
Parentheses.
text. I'm just looking at it going, dude, how long did that take you to write that thing? From Mike Evans, Martin, the All Blacks would have a serious game plan before the game, but like the old saying goes, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. Respect to Argentina. They punched and kept on punching. That is a really good text, a really good summation, because that's Mike Tyson's quote. Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Well, it's very applicable to the Springboks a week ago that they were playing a certain way, well, a week and a bit ago. And then as soon as the Wallabies started to get their tails up and play a certain way, the Springboks didn't really have an answer.
And we didn't have an answer on the weekend.
And we didn't, no, we didn't.
We'd had, look, there was, again, isolated bits where we were okay. But when you go back to the first test against them as well, there were isolated bits where we were really good, but we just, we lost 20 minutes here and 10 minutes here and another 5 minutes there. When Samasoni scored the driving try to take us to within a converted try of going ahead.
I thought we were going to burgle this game.
I thought same thing.
Yeah.
Thought we're going to burgle it.
It was a real disservice. The performance in the second half was a real disservice to the defensive effort and the valiant effort from the All Blacks at the end of the first
13.
half. When you're down to 13 and you held them out, if I'm the players that I'm raising, I'm going, geez, we got out of jail there. Now make it count.
Exactly.
And they didn't.
And we didn't. We couldn't lift our game. And also, what is a worrying, a real concern for me at the moment is our inability to change gears, or plan A is not working. What's our plan B? We're just not doing that on the field. Hannes Bournemouth, I'm sorry.
That sounds South African.
Very much. Let's be honest, its next game is a wobbly Springboks versus a wobbly All Blacks fixture. No one team or supporter can be confident. The fact that it's in Auckland gives the edge to the All Blacks. I think you're right. I think that's look, the Springboks, you weren't that good against Australia at Cape Town, and we've been against Argentina. We've had some good bits, some not. When you look at the way that the Boks and the Aussies played, I'd say Aussie come out of that with more credit after the 2 tests.
Yeah, based on the performances across the 2 tests for New Zealand against Argentina and for South Africa against Australia, you'd probably back ignoring.
I'd back the 2 A's here.
Ignoring. I'm ignoring. I'm sort of talking only about New Zealand and South Africa here. Ignoring the fact that the first test is at Eden Park. Ignore that for a second. If you were to assess South Africa and how they performed and assess New Zealand across the 2 games and say which one looked better, you'd probably say the Springboks, wouldn't you? At least, well, what helps that is the first 17 minutes at Ellis Park. Marginally. Because we didn't really have a 17-minute period in the first test against Argentina where we were that dominant, I don't think.
And we haven't been really, I don't think, amazingly impressive in all 5 tests this year. We've had bits and pieces of the test where you go...
half an hour in Wellington.
Yeah,
that was about it.
This one I love as well. Darius Mick, DARIUSMIC 9268. DSPN is one of the main reasons why this All Black team is so pathetic.
Oh, I thought we were about to get praise today. I was ready to fist pump.
You always talk up the most rubbish players. Havili, Todd B, and Leo Willie should be in this All Black side. Are you talking about Todd Blackadder?
Heavily. It's just quickly, I was thinking this. Leo Willie was pretty hard done by because I don't think he did anything wrong against France.
You can't blame us, mate. We're just on the side of the microphone talking about it.
What, are we secretly the All Black selectors?
And those players, you talk up those rubbish players. Look, okay.
Todd B.
I don't think Havili should be in the side. I don't think so. And
I don't either.
I actually presume you're probably talking about Ethan Blackadder there.
Yeah, I think you mean, yeah. I think Ethan Blackadder should be in the side. But something strange has happened here because he's not that much worse. He's better in my opinion, but he's not a lot worse than Dalton Papali'i and Christian Leo Willie, who have gotten into the team this year ahead of Ethan Blackadder. So something's happened there.
Anyway, Darius, he not only hates on us, but he also hates on Razor. Get rid of him. He said, the Chiefs should take him as a coach, given how much he's in love with their players. Bring back Steve Hansen and Jamie Joseph. An unhappy man.
Classic New Zealand rugby.
This was one of my favourite comments all week. From Steph271, this was on YouTube. Don't mind me, I'm just a Safa having a braai, feeling good about the All Blacks.
A braai.
I love it. So this is it. When you lose, we stick it. I'm happy to cop it. I'm happy to take that. Yep. And celebrate the fact we've lost. Because when we dick you twice here in New Zealand, I spat out then and I spat out again. Yeah. From Dean Hubbard, sorry, Martin, I can't help myself. Dog shit, congrats Argentina. There were a few comments about that, people quoting Rassie Erasmus after the first. And we were rubbish in that test. Argentina, taking nothing away from you. You were magnificent. You're brilliant.
Yeah.
The Black Squirrel, the All Blacks had a clang. This is our book of Leviticus one this week.
This week's edition.
Yeah, it normally takes about 3 days to read that text, but I love you for sending it. The outcome, Richie Flood says, the outcome of the All Blacks this weekend is all down to coaching. The coaches aren't performing at the highest level. There is no way the All Blacks should have been that bad compared to last week. Okay, so we've covered that. We've covered that a bit. I think it's fair that has to start pointing especially towards the backline coaches now. Come on, you guys. You've got really good players in front of you here. What aren't you doing to give them whatever tools they need to have the confidence to play as well as they can play? Because we're not seeing it.
I was thinking about this, I think, yesterday, and I'm not insinuating anything at all or implying. It's a genuine question. When you are an assistant, how much say do you really get? Because if you have an idea about how you want, in Jason Holland's case, the backline to look, or Scott Hansen's case, the defence to look, how much say do you really get when you put something on the table that you suggest something to Razor and he goes, no, I like this better, I'm going to go with this?
Well, it's a good question because I look at now the way that the NFL operates, and I love the NFL so much, and you get a head coach. Quite often that head coach only does one facet of the game. He might do attack. I mean, there are plenty of things. I remember the 85 Bears. I mean, the great thing about them was they had Buddy Ryan at defence, and apparently the defence and attack coaches never actually talked to each other. They never went inside each other's rooms, never actually even discussed tactics. It was like, you just do your shit, right? And I'm wondering whether or not there are so many coaches involved with top-level rugby now, that's the case. Whereas I look at a guy like Erasmus and think, I reckon he's got his finger on everything. I think he's in control of everything.
Yeah, well, so for the last World Cup cycle, they had Jacques Nienaber as the head coach, but Rassie was always there in the coach's box. Yeah. He was the director of rugby for South African rugby, I think it was. So it always felt like Rassie was the coach.
I would hope that there's one guy in charge. I'm an old school guy. I'd hope that Razor's the guy in charge. So then
if there's one guy in charge, do you need 3 assistants with these? I mean, because Tamati Ellison, I'm pretty sure, was involved. They had Brent Evans, I think, is a line-out specialist for them. What happened to, when it was Graham Henry's coach, you had 2 assistants. Yeah. It was Graham Henry. Oh, you did have Mike Cron as well. But it was pretty,
tell you what,
it was a bit more simplistic.
Must be tempted to get Wayne Smith back on that as well and ask him what the hell.
That was a good shout by Tony yesterday, Tony Johnson.
Mike Willoughby, trust me, there are no harsher critics in the rugby world than the All Black fans who've just lost. Yep. Yep. And that's and I think that's a good thing, Mike, because I actually think that the day that we don't care anymore, then we've got a problem.
Yeah.
And look, the emotion of it, we're always going to get irie after a loss and so forth. A couple of days later, you calm down a little bit more. Doesn't mean we don't support our team or want our team to win, but there are big concerns about the All Blacks at the moment, and they're valid. Couple to go. I love this one from Brett and Susan. Springboks were number 1 from 1908 to 2000. Beat that, chumps. Okay, couple of things,
Were
Brett. And okay, I think in 56 when we beat you 3-1 in that series, you probably weren't one in the world. I reckon in 74, when the Lions went to South Africa, won every single game apart from the last draw, which they got robbed, I don't think you were the best team in the world that year. 1981, you came here, Huey kicked the penalty, we beat you 2-1. Not sure you were the best team in the world. 94, we played 3 tests here, we beat you in 2 and drew 1. Not sure you were the best. 96, we go over there and beat you 3 out of 4 tests. Not sure you're the best team in the world that year either. So there's a couple of flaws in that argument, but we do appreciate you getting to us. And this one will wrap it up.
Yeah.
From Joe-Black, which is BL4, the letters and the numbers. This young guy, he hates the Springboks. Sir, you're 11 years old. What do you know? So he calls you sir, and then he says you're 11.
I'm 11.
That is a pretty impressive moustache.
I was going to say, if an 11-year-old can grow this...
That's a lot of chicken hormones that's gone into that.
If an 11-year-old can grow this and has to shave this, every 5 days... Okay, fine. I'm 11 years old then, I guess.
And I'd be looking as a parent thinking, darling, what's gone wrong with him?
Does that mean that I started producing Devlin at the age of 8?
What?
This is the DSPN.